Welcome to the August 5th Lower Makefield Township Zoning Hearing Board. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. This is kind of what America's all about, right? Democracy. People come out and get their voices heard, and we'll see how things shake out. So we only have the one matter on the agenda tonight. So what's going to happen is the applicant's going to make their case, and after that, we will have questions for them. So while this is going on, what we don't want is, we don't want everybody in the audience yelling things out, right? That doesn't go. So you're all going to be invited up and to give your public comment, but when you come up, you're going to introduce yourself, spell your name, give us your address, you'll be sworn in, and then we're going to ask you to be concise, to not repeat yourselves. We've been doing this a long time, and people come up and they tend to, when they feel strongly about something, they tend to repeat themselves to make sure that they drive the nail home and that we heard them. We're listening intently, so do your best not to repeat yourselves. And when you come up and you're introduced, you're going to let us know if you want party status, okay? So if you want party status, that'll so be noted in the record. And then if the appeal doesn't go how you would like it to go, you now have party status and you have the ability to appeal our decision. But again, what I want is when everybody comes up for public comment, I'd like it to be orderly. I'd like you to be as concise as possible. There's a lot of people in the room. I want to make sure you guys, everybody in here, men and women, feel like they've been heard. But again, I don't want you abusing everybody's time and repeating yourself. So please do your best. Lastly, I just want to go over something because I think a lot of people are going to bring it up. So all of us here have, independent of each other, have gone through the different exhibits and paperwork that was submitted. And there's been a lot of talk from the community about possibly turning this into open space. Our board has no governance over that. Does everybody understand that? We're a zoning board. We don't have governance over that. We get that it's a point that you may feel strongly about. That's something that would go to the supervisors. Adam, do you want to explain that a little better?
Yeah, just, this is a quasi-judicial body. We make decisions quasi-judicial in that it's not judges in a court, but it's a similar type of thing as far as listening to evidence, taking evidence in, questions, all that, and then making the decision. So any issues, as the chair put it, related to open space, directed to the Township Board of Supervisors. They're the ones that make those decisions. We have nothing to do with that whatsoever. So just want to be clear about that. If that's something you feel strongly about, and I'm sure many of you do, that's okay. This board can't really do anything about it. Ms. Blundy and her fellow supervisors, that's something that they can do. If she wants to speak on that later, she can. Township is participating in this, so Maureen Carlton, the Township solicitor, will be having some questions of her own as well, or statements of her own. So just want to keep us focused.
Okay, thank you, Adam. So let's everybody be civil with each other, and I'd like to invite the applicant to step forward, be sworn in, and then after being sworn in, Adam will read the exhibits in the record, and then you can present your matter. Thank you.
If I may, we swear all three witnesses at the same time to facilitate this. Oh, sorry.
Would you each state and spell your full name, please?
Chirag, C-H-I-R-A-G, first name, last name, T-H-A-K-K-A-R, with R&I Engineering.
Jerome Skrinkowski, first name spelled J-E-R-O-M-E, last name spelled S-K-R-I-N-C-O-S-K-Y, with Hawk Valley Associates.
Eugene UMANSKY with Trinity Realty Companies, in this case, Oxford Valley owner, E-U-G-E-N-E-U-M-A-N-S-K-Y.
Do you all solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
I do.
All right, Counselor, let's have some fun.
If I may, I'm here on behalf of,
I'm sorry, we have to have the exhibits. I overstepped my bounds.
all right, you're the chairman.
We will use the applicant's exhibits as the CV of Chirag Thacker. Am I butchering your name? I apologize. His CV is A1, site plans is A2, agreement of sale A3, repudiation and novation is A4, extension agreements A5, building facade options are A6. A7 is going to be the aerial photograph of the surrounding neighborhood. A8 is the CV of Jerome Skrinkowski, or Koski. A9, land use and zoning assessment report. And A10, the application. B1, proof of publication. B2, proof of posting. And B3, notice to the neighbors.
If I may, I have paper copies if any of the board would like a paper copy.
Sure, that would be great. Thank you.
I'll take one. Thank you.
I have more. I have a packet. If I may, preliminarily, I represent Oxford Valley Road Owner LLC, and I have with me the managing member, Eugene UMANSKY. I also have Jerome, the planner, and Chirag, the licensed civil engineer. The tax map parcel number for the property is 20-32-01-032 with frontage on Old Oxford Valley Road. The property is zone C3. The property consists of approximately 3.551 acres. Applicant has requested the following variances from the provisions of Section 200-47A3A with respect to the mix of the unit types for a senior housing development, and also from the provisions of 200-47A3F1 requiring as far as the minimum density and number of units. The request is not a use variance because this use is permitted within the zoning district. And I'll begin by calling Chirag Thacker. You've been sworn, is that correct?
Yes.
And again, would you identify yourself for the record?
Chirag Thacker, I'm a civil engineer employed with Arna Engineering.
And Exhibit A1 is your resume, correct?
That's correct.
Would you briefly describe your experience as well as your licensures that you have as a professional engineer?
Yeah, I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in civil engineering. I've been a civil engineer for 20-some years. I'm licensed in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, North Carolina, and I've testified in front of multiple zoning and planning boards.
And some of your experience is noted on Exhibit A1, is that correct?
That's correct.
I would offer this witness as an expert in civil engineering.
So noted.
Okay. Now, did you oversee the preparation of a plan depicting the proposed construction of 16 attached dwellings as an age-qualified development?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And would you identify the plan which is identified as A2?
Yes.
And I think we were going to post it on.
Yeah, Jim's going to bring it up on the screen.
Okay. Would you identify the plan, please?
Yes, the plan on the screen is a concept plan that I had prepared. It's drawing number ZP05, shows four clusters of four attached product for a total of 16 units. That's shown in the color rectangular box with a proposed street taking access off of Oxford Valley Road. And the existing there you go, better. The existing farmhouse on the western side towards the end of the property is proposed to be removed. A cul-de-sac is proposed with approximately 8 parking spaces for the visitors and a sidewalk that runs along the front of the proposed units. There is 0.66 acres of open space that's proposed on and around the property, right there, and a proposed stormwater management facility right there at the corner of the property intersection with Oxford Valley and the open space to the left of it. The property will be served by public water and public sewer. It will have to go through a land development approval process and a full engineering review by the township, as well as an NPDES permit will be required. The site is more than 1 acre, will result in a disturbance of more than 1 acre, and therefore DEP will take jurisdiction over the stormwater management design above and beyond the township stormwater regulations.
Now, from your review of the site as well as the plan, how does the topography work with respect to stormwater?
Is there a survey plan that could be brought up, or I have a board that I can?
You can get up, you can take that microphone that's in the, whatever we.
Yeah,
what the heck is
okay.
This thing, you can grab that and you can go up to the plan and walk around.
Yep.
Just turn it on so we know we can hear you. Speak into it, let's say.
All right, good enough, loud enough? Okay. So the property is previously developed. As you can see, the ground cover has been disturbed. There's an access drive there you go, the access drive that goes from Oxford Valley towards the rear of the farmhouse. The topography is gently pitching from the western end of the property towards the eastern side. Going towards the road. There is a small portion of the property that does drain towards the northwest, if you will, in this area. So it's a gentle topography, previously disturbed. It's been grass mowed, improved, but it all flows from the west to the east towards the road.
Now, what would be the proposed issue with respect to resolving any stormwater issues? How would that be dealt with?
Excuse me, Jeff. Talk into the microphone, please. Sorry.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Chair pulled it back further than I thought. If I may, Chirag, would you explain how the stormwater system would work and what would be the outcome of the stormwater system?
So, sure, like I had explained a few minutes ago, so this property is about 3.5 acres base site area, close to 3.5 acres on a gross site area basis, will be certainly more than 1 acre. Whenever you have more than 1 acre of a disturbance, you are automatically into jurisdiction of an NPDES permit, which is a state permit with DEP. So the property will have to comply with not only the stormwater regulations which are in the township ordinance, but will have to also comply with the state requirements. So hence we have proposed a stormwater facility on the rear of units 1 through 4. The first 4 units, you could see that. Yep, that's outlined by that. There you go. So, and the reason that the stormwater facility is proposed there is because the topography flows towards that. That's where naturally the water flows. That's where the drainage pattern is, and water will be collected, treated, and discharged in compliance with the township ordinances as well as the state ordinances.
And will that diminish in part the water from the site that proceeds to go on the open space owned by the township adjacent to that?
That's correct. So currently the site, as we could see in that aerial previously when I was up by the TV, there is no stormwater facility that exists for this property. Currently, it's just sheet flowing out to the road and into that park township property, which is depicted by the trail in that area right there. As part of our development, we will install the stormwater facilities that would be to today's standard. In fact, the Act 167, which is the township requirement, and NPDES permits require you to not only maintain the peaks, you have to actually reduce the stormwater that goes out of the development. So it's not apples to apples. It's actually, we have much more stringent requirements to comply to get the state permit as well as the township approvals.
Now, what variances have been requested?
There's a variance requested, there are two variances that have been requested. One is related to the product mix. I believe you gave the chapter and the verse to it. And there's another variance related to the density. The density is permitted in the township ordinance, the zoning ordinance of 4.6 units per bayside area. We are requesting 4.65 units. So that's about 1% and a change above the requirement. So when Jeff said de minimis, it really is de minimis. You're talking about a hair over 1% of deviation from the requirement.
From your observations and your review of the plan, how will the construction of the 16 attached dwelling units compare with the surrounding uses?
It actually is very compatible. You could see it on the aerial that's on the base of that plan. You could see the existing toll community that has been built, and although the product is not exactly the same, it is very much similar to that product, meaning that it's an attached product with a driveway in the front, with an access road that serves the community, with a stormwater facility, and a sidewalk system that fronts the units.
Do you see the possibility of a negative impact on the community related to the construction of this project?
No, I don't. In fact, like I said, there is no stormwater control right now. So the site is non-conforming to the township stormwater ordinances right now as we speak, because there isn't anything. So as we go through land development approval and get the engineering design through the township and the state, it will then fall into the compliance. So I actually see a benefit from a stormwater point of view.
I think you testified previously, but this site is basically a lawn, correct?
It is.
Some trees, limited number of trees.
Yes, isolated, very much, yep.
I have no additional questions of this witness.
I think it's going to make sense to also address witness by witness. So how about we start with any questions we have directed to Chirag and his present and the points that he made. So whoever wants to lead us out, take us out.
I have one real quick question. The farmhouse, does anyone know the age of the farmhouse?
We'll have testimony from the planner about the farmhouse.
Okay, thank you. And I am impressed with your resume, but I also noticed most of what you've done is commercial. 1, 2 are like mixed use. So, but I'm concerned, I'll hold mine because I'm a little concerned more with the farmhouse and the amount of paving that's going to be in that area.
Board, anybody have questions?
I do not have any for him.
I'm sorry, what was that, Pete?
I do not have any. That's-
Christian, Mike?
Now, I want to hear the other testimony before I start asking questions.
All right, Mr. Thakor, at this present time, we don't have any questions, but be prepared. We could come back to you.
Thank you.
I will next call Eugene Umansky. Eugene, you've been sworn. Please identify yourself.
Eugene Umansky, managing member of Oxford Valley Road owner, who is the applicant for this project.
And would you review Exhibit A3, if you would, please? Please describe the two agreements that are attached as Exhibit A3.
It is our agreement of sale for the property, and is this where the novation and repudiation
Oh,
is?
there's an agreement of sale.
Sir? The agreement of sale for this property?
There's two agreements. One appears to be executed by the owner and Dryden Court Development.
That is correct.
That's not you, correct?
Correct. That is not us.
And then the second exhibit, attached as Exhibit A3, is a subsequent agreement, which I would assume and characterize as the assignment of that agreement to you,
That is correct.
your entity. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, Exhibit A4, please, that's the repudiation novation agreement, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now what is Exhibit A5? There's two documents there. What is A5?
Amendments to to certain terms in the original agreement.
And does that extend the time frame of the agreements of sale?
Yes.
And the most recent amendment extends the agreement of sale to when?
No, that's fine. Answer the date or the real?
The date is December 30th.
December 31st, 2025.
So you are the equitable owner of this property, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, please describe again the proposals as it relates to the zoning variances you requested.
We're proposing the construction of 16 attached dwelling units in 4 clusters of 4 homes, whereas the C3 zoning code, as it relates to age-qualified communities, allows for only 60% of units to be attached. So that's one variance. The other variance is for a maximum dwelling unit count, where the code allows for 4.6 dwelling units per acre. We are requesting 4.65.
Okay, and this is an age-qualified project, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, would you look at A6, which is one of the exhibits which has some building facades, correct? What is A6?
That is a sample rendering of what one of the potential facades for our home would look like.
Okay, and also attached is a floor plan, correct?
That is correct.
And there's also a subsequent,
The subsequent rendering is an example of other facade materials that could be used in this product.
so there are 2 or 3 options there, as well as floor plans, which could be the basis for the properties, the homes to be constructed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you believe that what's the price point for these properties, considering what you're proposing to construct?
The base model home for an interior unit, not a corner unit, would be around $750,000.
And how about a corner unit?
A corner unit would have a premium to that, but we have not determined that yet.
When you say base property, what does that mean?
Standard builder deliveries, and then builders would have an upgrade for if you want an extra nicer floor, extra nicer kitchen, and things like that.
So the price would go up?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you obviously have testified about the variances. Do you believe these variances, the minimum variance necessary to make a reasonable use of the property as the C3 senior housing project?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, are you familiar, and you have a slight deviation from the lot yield, correct?
Yes.
And I think you would agree with the testimony from your engineer that it's de minimis, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now, do you have an aerial photograph that you've taken, that you've received from the neighborhood, correct?
Yes.
And is that Exhibit A7?
Yes.
Okay. Now, would you review A7? You have a larger version there, if that would help you. A7's there, unless you want to, can you walk up to the screen with the microphone and testify as to what A7 is and what it depicts?
Yeah, I think I'd rather walk up. So
Oh, no, go ahead. You have to take the microphone, though.
So this exhibit basically shows the entire C3 zoning district in Lower Makefield Township. And
First of all, where's this site?
our property is right here at the very bottom in the south corner. That's our property. This entire red border represents the only C3 district in the township. And what this is effectively showing is, in terms of the unit types for all of these homes, right above us, you have a portion of the Regency at Yardley, all townhomes. You have above that, north of that, Yardley Woods, 62, 55 and over townhomes on roughly 19 acres. This is in the C3 district, but I found it to be rezoned to R4. Nevertheless, still clusters of townhomes. You go further north, these are carriage homes, the rest of the Regency. So these are detached, but there's nothing mixed with them. They're all detached homes. North of that, you do have a senior living facility, but above that, Yardley Preserve, 76 attached homes, roughly 16 acres. There's no mix of units there. Above that, you have offices, but this is just a representation of what's in the C3 district.
When you say attached, do you mean townhouse?
Townhouses, yes. Just trying to use the term as it is in the code.
And you mentioned the senior living facility. What's that, a multifamily house?
Yes, I guess you would say that.
Okay. And that is the aerial that you've demonstrated and is part of the exhibits, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now, would you describe the portion of the neighborhood adjoining your piece of property that's specific to the application?
It is all attached townhomes.
And do you believe that the development of this project will have a negative impact on the neighborhood?
No.
Okay. I have no additional questions.
All right. Floor is open to the board.
What's the average square footage of each unit?
The above grade square footage is roughly 2,114 square feet. The homes will have a basement that will be finished. That will add another 850 square feet. So in total, finished living space will be 2,965 square feet.
Do you happen to know how big the townhouses are behind?
Yes, I do. So there are a variety of models for the townhomes behind us.
Sure. Do on average?
So, for example, most recently there was a home that was sold, 1,754 square feet, a little bit further away from us. The homes on Lavender Drive right behind us are a little larger. There's listings here, 3,100 square feet. That's above grade. They have extra square footage in the basement. There's some other homes that are around 2,900 square feet. So they have a mix of homes, but they range, it's a wide range.
Okay. But about the same size?
Yes, but to be honest, yeah, Lavender's a little larger. Every other home is about the same size.
Okay. Thank you.
So you're saying the interior units are going to have a base price of $750. Have you developed a product like this before?
We have developed townhome products before, attached townhome products before, yes.
For over age 55 or just in general?
Just in general.
So without an age encumbrance. So okay.
Correct.
So you're saying the base price is going to be $750. Based on your experience with people adding options, which is common in new construction, what do you anticipate the average sale price to be post options?
Is it a fair answer to say I'm not quite sure right now?
Well, based on your experience, like how about a percentage?
The size, given the size of this home, I don't expect it to exceed 10%.
Okay, so
It's a rough,
I understand. Yeah, you're trying to answer questions, but you haven't even sold one yet, so
That's
you
correct.
don't have those answers.
but again, based on the size of this home,
You,
yeah, that's fair. So 7%, let's say.
okay. All right. Do you know what the houses behind you sell for? And
Yes.
Is it the region at Yardley?
Yes, I do.
What do they sell for?
So it's kind of all over the place, again,
Because of the size.
because of the size. So, for example, Regency at Yardley on Cypress, October of 2024, $764,000, 2,900 square feet, so very close in size. You had a home sell recently for $1.15 million on Lavender. That home was larger, very well equipped. You had another home sell only 1,700 square feet for $700,000 June 30th. So it's a range, and we are well within the range. And I have sales of every home on Lavender since Toll sold them out, and we're well within that range.
So is it fair to say, in your opinion, you're not undercutting their values? Is that a fair statement? In your
That is a
opinion?
fair statement, yes.
Okay. Because I have a feeling we might be hearing about that later.
I have a lot of data here to support otherwise, so.
Okay, that's why I wanted to ask. I have no further questions. Anybody else? Jeff, I think you have the floor again.
I have Jerome Skrinskoski. You've been sworn, correct?
Yes.
And please identify yourself and do a brief review of your curriculum vitae, that's Exhibit A8.
Okay. My name, once again, is Jerome Skrinkoski. I'm the president of Hawk Valley Associates. We provide professional planning and zoning consulting services. I personally have 40 years of professional experience. I am a certified planner recognized by the American Institute of Certified Planners. I have represented over 100 municipalities within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Most of my work is working with municipalities. Approximately 90% of my work effort has been representing municipalities such as Lower Makefield. 10% has also then been devoted towards working with the private development community. There is an emphasis that I have worked on comprehensive plans. I prepared personally 34 comprehensive plans, zoning ordinances. I prepared 45, subdivision land development ordinances 27, and then I've also prepared several other types of ordinances such as floodplain ordinances, stormwater management ordinances, community impact assessment reports, parks and recreation plans, and so forth.
Now, in fact, you were the planner for Northampton Township for a number of years, is that correct?
Yes, I represented Northampton Township, Bucks County for 8 years between 2006 and 2013. But part of my activities in Northampton was to review subdivision and land development activity, which there were 50 applications. Also prepared amendments to their zoning ordinance, their subdivision land development ordinance, their village master plans, and also their community impact assessment reports.
I would offer this witness as an expert planner.
He's accepted.
Okay. Now, were you engaged by the applicant to review the parcel, review the proposed development, and prepare a report of your professional opinion?
Yes.
And is that Exhibit A9?
Yes, A9 is the land use and zoning assessment report, which was dated April 14th, 2025. And just for just a simple term, we'll call it a LUZA report, L-U-Z-A.
And what does LUZA mean?
Land use and zoning assessment report.
Okay. Now, you have reviewed the conceptual zoning plan that you've attached as appendixes A and 11 to your report, and A12, correct?
Yes.
In addition, have you visited the site?
Yes, I visited the site on 3 occasions.
And did you review and look at the aerial photographs?
Yes, and they're included within my report as A1 through A8.
And do you include photographs of the immediate neighborhood, is that correct?
Yes,
And that's Appendix A1 through A8 in your report, correct?
yes.
Okay. Turning to your report, can you describe the existing land uses?
Yes, the existing land uses are described in Section 2.A of the LUSA report. It's starting with the subject property, which is identified as a residential use. Going to the north of the subject property is age-qualified community development. The area identified adjacent are age-qualified, single-family attached dwellings or townhouses, which are part of the Regency at Yardley. And further north are additional age-qualified attached townhouses that are part of the Yardley Woods community. To the east is the Old Oxford Road, and beyond that is commercial uses that include a truck dealership, pharmacy, bank, gas station, health clinic, and other highway commercial type uses. To the south is Tall Pines Road, and beyond that is a cell or communication tower. To the west are the areas immediately adjacent are age-qualified, single-family attached dwelling units that are, once again, part of the Regency at Yardley. And further to the west are attached townhouse units that are part of the Big Oak Crossing, which is not an age-qualified retirement community.
Now, have you reviewed the Bucks County Bucks County Comprehensive Plan?
Yes,
Okay, and is the proposal to construct age-qualified housing on this property consistent with the Bucks County Comprehensive Plan?
yes, and that's included in section.
And what does the
2.2.
Bucks County Comprehensive Plan say about this part of Bucks County being in Lower Makefield Township?
The Bucks County Board of Commissioners, as part of their adoption of the plan in 2024, the plan provides emphasis that new development should be steered towards underutilized sites that should be compact and built where existing infrastructure is adequate, and be designed as an emphasis on access control, streetscape appearance, pedestrian and travel, and safety.
Now, does this property have access to a public street?
Yes,
Is it adequate for the purposes intended?
for this purpose, yes.
Yes, okay. Now, have you reviewed the Lower Makefield Township Comprehensive Plan?
Yes.
And when was that approved?
The Lower Makefield Township Comprehensive Plan was approved,
2015, and then it got updated in 2019.
2019.
Okay. Now, is Appendix A9 to your report a map of existing land use set forth in the Lower Makefield Township Master Comprehensive Plan?
Yes.
Okay. And what does the Lower Makefield Township Comprehensive Plan, which is identified as A10, talk about as far as this particular property?
The future land use analysis or future land use map, which is generally the highlight of any comprehensive plan, the subject property is identified as an age-qualified residential use. That's meaning that's the desired use moving forward that that Lower Makefield Township desires to see on that site. To the north is age-qualified residential uses. To the east is commercial highway service uses. To the south is age-qualified residential uses. And to the west is age-qualified residential uses. And these are depicted on the map that is located within the LUSA report.
So, in summary, the Lower Makefield Township Comprehensive Plan contemplates age-qualified housing on this property.
Yes.
Okay. Now, does the Lower Makefield Township Comprehensive Plan have a chapter devoted to historic resources?
Yes, that's located on pages 95 through 100.
Okay, now, is the property in question identified as a historic resource in that comprehensive plan?
No.
So the township, when it adopted the comprehensive plan, did not choose to identify this property as an historic resource, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, please describe the C3 zoning district with respect to the primary permitted uses.
Okay. In section 3.B of the loser report is what the age-qualified community within the C3 district is specified for. There is limited underdeveloped land area to establish a new age-qualified community that can meet all of the design criteria that are specified under section 200-47 of the zoning ordinance. Further, as noted, the Lower Makefield Township Comprehensive Plan, Master Plan of 2029, or for 2029, residents over 55 years of age make up 33% of the township's population, and where the only age group and that grew since 2000 census. Therefore, the expansion of an existing age-qualified community located in the C3 zoning district is logical considering land use compatibility and the intensity or impacts associated with their development. The subject property can be harmoniously developed and integrated as a compatible use to the existing age-qualified community at the Regency at Yardley and Yardley Woods.
Now, what other uses are permitted in the C3 zoning district?
There's a wide variety of uses that are permitted within the C3 zoning district, which include the uses permitted by right are agriculture, automobile body repair or paint shop, cemetery, convenience store, crematorium, daycare facility, nursery school, kindergarten, emergency service operations, finance services, funeral homes, general business, professional or governmental offices, health or fitness clubs, hospitals, kennels, large retail stores, light manufacturing uses, medical offices, nursery, horticulture or greenhouses, nursing homes, research development facility, restaurant, and or drive-through, with or without drive-through facilities, retail or personal service shops, service stations, vehicle sales, veterinary offices, warehousing and distribution facilities, wholesale trade, forestry, and timber harvesting, and then age-qualified community.
So is the age-qualified community the only residential use that's identified in C3?
That's what it appears.
Okay, so all the other uses are non-residential, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I think you already testified, correct me if I'm wrong, that there's no other area in C3 that's suitable for an age-qualified development, correct?
Yeah, the C3 district provides minimal opportunities for it to be developed in strict consistency with the zoning ordinance and the specifications for an age-qualified
Okay.
community.
Now, can you describe the rationale for the two variances that have been requested?
Okay, there are two variances that have been requested. The first one is under section 200-47A subsection 3 subsection A, which requires that the development be designed with at least 60% of the residential units containing single-family attached units. The applicant is proposing 65%.
I think you mean 100%, don't you?
I'm sorry, yeah, that is correct. It's 100% of the site. The second variance is section 200-47A 3 subsection F subsection 1, which is the requirement for a maximum residential density of 4.6 dwelling units per acre. And with the 16 attached dwelling units, the math as previously testified comes out to 4.65 dwelling units per acre.
So in your professional opinion, is that a de minimis deviation?
Yes.
Okay. Now, You expect this project will have a negative impact on the neighborhood?
No, I do not.
Okay. Is rigid compliance necessary to protect the public policy concerns inherently noted in the zoning ordinance?
Yes.
Okay. Is it necessary or is it not?
Oh, just want to back up. Under Section 4 of the LUSA report, it does provide a whole host of requirements, such as environmental and ecological impacts, stormwater impacts, sewer, water, utilities, transportation, community facilities, and visual landscapes. Those are all identified within the zoning ordinance and the subdivision land development ordinance, which the applicant will be required to do. So currently, there are no impacts, and it will be up to the applicant to demonstrate further compliance.
So there's nothing inherently about this project that is not consistent with the public policy concerns noted in the zoning ordinance?
Correct.
Okay. Now, the issue of the allocation of housing types. Now, you've reviewed the C3 zoning ordinance related to age-qualified housing, correct?
Yes.
And aside from the fact this is a non-conforming lot, the minimum acreage is 10 acres, correct?
Correct.
And is that the rationale for the required percentages of various housing types, as far as attached and single-family detached?
Yes.
And clearly, that would not necessarily be applicable to a small site like this, correct?
Correct.
Now, what are the reasons why you do not want a mix of, on a small number of lots here, to have singles and attached dwellings? Why?
It'd be impractical because the lot is just too small, and the area would be best designed because of its linear fashion with townhouse units in groups. If it were to be designed or developed with a mix of uses, it would just be a few homes that would meet the criteria. Probably more variances would be required in terms of setbacks and other items.
Now, are those having singles, a few singles with the townhouses conducive to an age-qualified community?
No.
Why not?
Most age-qualified communities would tend, and that's the reason why you have 60% of the, as a cap. Townhouses are generally viewed as, and multifamily units are generally or customarily incorporated within an age-qualified community because of less maintenance.
And what about the allocation of expense if you have larger singles versus attached dwellings?
There'll be more expense with a single-family detached versus single-family attached.
So there wouldn't be a common assessment of cost on a small project like this?
Correct.
As a practical matter, do you have an opinion as to whether this property could be feasibly developed by having a mix of uses as far as the housing types for C3 age-qualified housing sample?
Well, I believe that the applicant has proposed the conceptual plan that does work best for the site in its linear fashion, plus also the adjacent land uses. It's a very compatible use considering that the homes surrounding this property are age-qualified attached units or townhouse units.
Will this proposed development, if variances are granted, have any negative impact on the neighborhood?
No.
I have no additional questions.
All right, board.
Now I have questions. Not many, though. It appears from the information that we got in this packet, and we saw it earlier today, emailed to us, that the agreement of sale is contingent upon you getting these ordinances, or these variances today. Is that correct?
I have no knowledge of that.
No?
Should I,
Answer the question.
anybody can answer?
You can answer. You're the one that had the agreement, sure.
As a buyer, equitable owner, zoning is one of the factors that we consider when moving forward with the purchase. It is not contingent strictly on zoning.
Okay. And then I'm assuming once you get your answers from us, Planning Commission is next? Or have you been there already preliminarily?
No, they've not been there yet.
No, they have not been to the Planning Commission.
Okay. I had questions about the reasons for the two variances, but Jerome's presentation is incredible. He answered all my questions. That was my father's name, by the way. So I really have no more questions.
I'm still interested in knowing the age of the farmhouse.
We were passed some information
I know
that
it's-
we were not able to verify.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I understand that it's not going to be an exact.
No, I can, it took me a second to find it, but
Thank you.
from Joe Camerata and Dr. Helen Hines of the
Yes.
Historical Commission, they guessed that the original portion of the home was built somewhere between 1820 and 1840. It has since had multiple additions.
Right.
But that's their opinion.
And to be honest, it's not surprising that something is not listed in the plans, because in many cases, they're hidden and nobody thought about it until a sale would come up.
This can be a question to Chirag or Jerome. What would the density be if you had 15 units?
If it was 15 units, I don't have the exact math, but it would be less than 4.6 a hair, less
Yeah.
than 4.6, yeah.
Less. That's all you need to know.
Lawyer math.
He has the number, just for the record.
Having a handy-dandy calculator.
If you're using the base site was what, 3.4 or something? I mean, you're talking roughly 4.4, 4.38-ish, something.
So that would be one less variance that would be required.
Excuse me?
That would be
Excuse me?
one less variance that would be required. You're going for two variances, so
I don't want to incriminate myself with that answer, but yes.
I just want
Yes.
to, case
That's correct.
people in the audience
Yeah.
weren't aware of what we were discussing. Anybody else have any questions for any of the three experts and developer?
Can you clarify on the stormwater management? So with the proposed stormwater management, is the property actually better?
Well, yes, because there are no controls right now.
Okay.
So the water just runs through the property towards the park property or the township property with the trail system. That's where water is heading. That's the topography of the land. When we put the development in, we will intercept that water, have to intercept that water, treat it, and release it such that it would be better or less in terms of peak as well as volume compared to what it is today. So the ordinance is extremely stringent. It doesn't say, all right, you're throwing out 100 gallons, I'm just making up numbers. You can throw out 100 gallons. No, you have to do reduction on that, and we are in the Delaware, South Delaware River watershed, sub-area A, too technical, but either way, the numbers, the peak storms have to be reduced from existing to proposed. So it's not, the system won't just address what's going out today, it would actually reduce what's going out.
Okay, thank you.
Has there been any analysis about the type of soil? Because I know we have areas here that the soil is such that no matter what you do, that water is not going to drain down. It's really
Well,
clay.
we have not done a soil test as such, which would be all forthcoming during the land development review process. But I do have an NRCS soils map. I mean, it's a rough study of what's going on, and none of the soils listed are hydric in nature, which is where you usually get soggy and holds water and that sort of thing. But again, this is a county-based map. It's not a specific study of a particular site, but it just gives you a general idea.
Dan, I have a question for you. So when I'm looking at the Regency at Yardley, it occurs to me that I would think that that development, Toll must have needed variances for that development. Do you have any information on that?
Correct. I think that's why so when you read the ordinance where it says it's permitted by right for a age-qualified community, that was added 12/19/2005 by ordinance number 355. And I believe that's around the time that Regency was built.
What's that? Yeah.
Just a question here, and this again is to help a lot of people in the room understand. Any development on that site would require stormwater mitigation and retention to be put in place, any of the permitted uses.
That is correct. In fact, actually, just if I could extend it a little bit, all the uses that Jerome read, other than the one that is under consideration, are all non-residential, meaning commercial type uses, retail, warehousing, et cetera, they typically generate a lot more impervious surface, which means more pollutants, more peak storms, meaning water running faster, going to an inlet, so on and so forth. Our plan right now has, if I could get to it, this plan that's in front of us has, so the ordinance allows approximately, I could tell you, the ordinance allows, I believe 60% impervious space. I have it somewhere in here, but I can't, yep, 60.
Yep, 60.
Something like that, I believe. This would be much lower than that, meaning compared to a non-residential use, warehouse, et cetera,
No, they do.
service shops, repair shops,
They have to.
all these are permitted uses. They generate a lot more impervious surface as a result of the nature of compliance with the ordinance, because you have 5 ratios per 1,000 square feet required in your own ordinance. So they typically drive a lot of impervious surface, just the nature of the uses. Versus what we are proposing, it has more green areas, grass, lawns, open spaces, stormwater, et cetera, which then helps with the stormwater control.
Yeah.
I have a question about, like,
Sorry,
traffic.
Judy, real
Oh,
quick.
sorry.
Just to add to Jim's question. So Yardley Preserve, north of Regency, was granted the same type of variance for the different type of unit types. So that is similar to this.
And I just, I don't want to go down an
Thank you.
unnecessary rabbit hole, but if we're going to talk about Regency and how it was developed, we just have to take a moment to pause and remember that it was a result of litigation and that there was not the typical
No.
process.
No.
So
It was not.
it's interesting to note, but I'm not so sure how binding it is for this conversation.
Dan, just to clarify on the record, they had the same variances as far as both of,
I can read it verbatim, how it was listed.
yeah, only because we have two. I didn't know if you were saying they had the same two sections or just one of
Okay.
the two.
So it was appeal number 17-1792A of Aaron Development, Inc. for the property located on Dobry Road, west of the intersection with Oxford Valley Road, Yardley, PA. Tax parcel number 20-012028. Applicant is requesting a variance to Township Zoning Ordinance, Section 200-47A 3A, in order to permit the entirety of the proposed age-qualified community to consist of quadruplex units as opposed to varying the unit mix between single-family detached, single-family attached, and multifamily buildings. So essentially, in layman's terms, they were granted variances to build duplexes, where other types of unit mixes was permitted.
When you say duplexes, you're basically saying attached, right? How our code words it, attached.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then to answer further with Adam's question, in regard to ordinance 200-47A, subset 3, subset F, subset 1, regarding the density, did they have any density variance?
No, the only other variance that is listed here is section 200-61C as to permit a 32.5-foot setback from a resource-protected woodland boundary. So no, it's not inherently related to density.
Okay. Anyone else on the board have a question for the applicant or either of the two witnesses?
I'm just kind of looking at how the traffic's going to flow. It'll go on to Old Oxford Valley Road, and then
Sorry. Yes, that is the primary in and out.
it will go into where the pharmacy,
CVS,
mean, how does it access
there's a
the
light
main-
at Big Oak, but yes,
it'll go to Big
that will
Oak.
be the only entrance for these homes.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Garten, do you rest?
No further evidence to present.
Maureen, are you okay?
I am. Again, we are here just participating and observing. We're not taking a position. We're not opposing. Just a quick question with reference to the farmhouse, although I think Mr. UMANSKY answered it based on information you received from our historic commission, that it is approximately built in 1820, I believe you said 1820 and 18...
And I quote from Dr. Helen Hines, I would guess it was built between 1820 and 1840.
So for more context, and I'm not sure exactly how accurate, but the Bucks County Board of Assessments says the year built was 1804.
And that's what I had in my sort of information that I was provided, just for context. But again, that's not an issue before this board this evening.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
just one last question from me. Jerome, I thought you touched on this because my research, I saw that the existing farmhouse is not identified as a resource by the LMT Historical Commission. I thought you might have testified to that matter?
I testified that within the comprehensive plan, it's not referenced or identified.
Okay. And Judy, I'm sorry, Judy, I thought you...
I'm sure, like, there's several like that, and I do trust Dr. Hines. I know her well. She knows more than I do on that subject. And like I said, that is not a zoning board issue. It was really just a question I had.
All right. So at this time, what we're going to do is, as orderly as possible, people are going to come up, you're going to identify yourselves, spell your name, give your address, tell us if you would like to be a party to the matter, and then, as concisely as possible, please make your points. If I interrupt you because you're repeating yourself, I'll do so with respect, so please give respect back. And we're trying to get everybody heard today, so that's it. Who's going to start us off?
Sir, would you state and spell your full name, please?
John W. Cullen.
I'm sorry, last name?
Cullen.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Excuse me, John, would you like to be a party to this matter?
I would like to be a party to this matter.
Mr. Cullen, can you bring the mic just down a little bit? Thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Great.
Ed, did we get his address? We need your address as well.
99 Lavender Drive. My wife and I, Susan, live at 99 Lavender Drive, the Regency at Yardley.
I have no objection to him having party status.
Thank you, Mr. Garten.
Good evening, and thank you sincerely for your important service to the residents of our township, to the members of of this board. I'd like to present something to the chair.
All right, before you start testifying again, I just want to take a look, and we're probably going to have this added as an exhibit. Real quickly, tell us what I'm looking at.
Happily. Just over a 3-day period, we were able to collect 277 resident signatures to the petition that I just presented to you. This is during a time when many neighbors were on vacation. The petition was signed by neighbors in both the carriages. 64% of the 277 came from carriage residents, and the villas, 36% of that total, 100 people from the villas. Residents signed from every one of the dozens of streets in the Ray. Bottom line, this is a very serious matter for our community. Hopefully not to be taken lightly.
All right.
This is what the petition reads. I would like to read the petition.
Hold on for 1 second.
I'm going to object to the petition as being irrelevant to this proceeding.
So Mr. Garten objects to it being relevant to this proceeding. What I would say, and I think we should discuss it, is I don't know that pertinent to this proceeding it should be entered in the record, but I think it's fair to speak about it because of the amount of signatures. What's everybody else's opinion up here on the board? And Adam, do you have anything legally that would preclude us from considering the impact of the fact that how many people signed this?
277, and Mr. Carton hasn't even heard what the petition says.
That's okay. You're not surprised, though, are you? Adam? Would I be correct in asserting that we probably should not enter this in the record?
Well, Mr. Garden, just clarify what your objection is.
Well, first of all, I understand from what it purports to say, and it's testimonial, number one. Number two, these people had the opportunity to come. Some are here. They're relevant to having the conversation, but not a petition circulated for no apparent. We don't know why it was circulated, who organized it, who urged it to be signed. It's testimonial in nature. Therefore, I can't cross-examine those people.
Should we let Mr. Cohen read the...
I think what you could do as a compromise is you could read it in. If you're a signatory, anyone that comes up, if they have signed this, they can state that they have signed this and agree with this. And that way it alleviates, I think, your concerns without admitting numbers that you don't have the opportunity to cross-examine.
Mr. Garten, is that a compromise for you?
Yeah, if he's going to read it and he agrees with it, fine, I'm fine with that, because I can ask him questions.
Okay. So does that make sense to you, Mr. Cullen?
I certainly appreciate the opportunity, Mr. Carton. Yes, it does make sense.
Thank you, and let's hear it.
Okay. What we ask of you is stated in the petition that reads as follows. We, the undersigned residents of the Regency at Yardley, respectfully request a temporary delay in the zoning variance determinations of parcel ID 20-032-001 so that federal, state, and local officials, as well as regulatory agencies, have sufficient time to assess the full impact of any zoning variance request. This 3.55-acre parcel is located at 136 Old Oxford Valley Road in Lower Makefield Township.
Okay. Thank you.
We sincerely hope that you will honor our request for this due diligence to take place. If you decide to proceed to plan to make determination anyway without delay, it is our strong position that the variance request should be denied. Some of my neighbors and other interested parties will explain why. Thank you for your considerations to this important matter of consequence to our Ray community. Board Member Reese, I would answer one of the questions that you asked a couple of times. In the history book on the 5 Mile Woods, it stated all sorts of dates as to when that house was built by the Satterworth family.
Yes.
but as far back as 1797, if I remember correctly.
I think
from
you
some
are correct.
historians. I believe I am. With that, again, I appreciate your time, and I'll turn it over to my neighbor, Bob Nemiroff.
Yes, we can.
Mr. Cullen, can you come back to the microphone, please?
I do. We do have a question for him.
I do. I have a question.
Go ahead, ask.
So you said 36% are from the
Wait.
villas.
Into the
Wait,
microphone.
In the mic, need a mic, need a mic.
Sorry about that. So 36% of how many are from the villas?
36% of the 277.
36% of 200?
100
Okay.
people.
In the best opinion you can give, how are 100 people who are, let's call it half a mile away, impacted by this proposed development?
In my opinion,
Yes.
as a whole, number one, I can't really speak for them. I would say that there is great concern for every bit of green space that we have in our area of the southern portion of Lower Makefield Township. We're surrounded on 4 sides by major highways, Route 1, 95, and then Big Oak Road, Oxford Valley Road, and I think it's underestimated just how many people go in and out of Old Oxford Valley Road, frankly. And that's the best answer that I could give you, although my guess is that some people could elaborate a lot more, Eugene.
That's fair. And one or two more points, if I can. Am I allowed?
Are you making a point or asking a question?
Asking a question. Out of, you said 64% of the signatories are from your specific community.
Well, my whole community is Regency at Yardley. If you
Let
mean the
let me
carriages-
rephrase the attached portion of the community that's adjacent to our property. Yes, I just don't know the name of the two.
The carriages,
Carriages.
yes, 64%,
64%.
177 signatures from the carriage residents.
And how many of those abut the property or live on Lavender?
A little less than 30 homes, so
Okay.
50 people maybe.
Okay.
Total, in terms of how many signed that, I'd guess and say 50.
Okay. Thank you.
So I have questions, Mr. Cullen. Of all the people who signed the petitions, I'm sure they all have different reasons for why they signed it. What is your reason? Your specific reason?
We need as much green space as possible. We're a community of 55 and older. I just turned 78. I need more green. I need less pollution. I need the safest environment that I could possibly live in. That's a really big concern to me. I assume for my wife as well, although she can speak for herself.
And
We just don't think there's been enough due diligence yet on the federal, state, and local level, and particularly by regulatory agencies, to make a decision tonight. If you were to make a decision tonight, we feel strongly that there's no reason for both variances to be granted. I'm speaking for myself.
just to put this back out there, I think this came up at the start, but you do understand that open space kind of falls in that same definition of earlier, is not under our purview. Open space is a Board of Supervisors issue.
I didn't use the word open space, although you did.
Okay.
So, you're talking about local, state, and federal regulatory agencies. Could you elaborate? Who are you talking about?
Well, let's see. The Army Corps of Engineers, relative to when the last time was a wetland survey done in this portion of the township. As best I can determine, it may be as long ago as 10 years. In other words, before the Regency at Yardley was built. I know that part of what the exhibits that we're going to give you includes the Bucks County wetlands, a look at this specific area. And we have some residents here who actually have homes that are on wetlands, according to the last survey that was done by the Army Corps of Engineers. So that would be one. The EPA would be another.
So I just want to be clear. So whether we pass this variance or not, all local, state, and federal agencies that are required to participate in a development of this nature are going to participate in a development of this nature. That happens. So the variance doesn't allow the developer to put a shovel in the ground. It allows him to pursue putting a shovel in the ground. I just want to be very clear so everybody in this room understands that.
I appreciate that, and I think that we do. We're just asking you to put the brakes on things and hold off on a decision with regards to the two variances. That's all I have to say.
I just want to be clear that there's not a developer in the world who does all that type of due diligence without first going to zoning.
Thank you. Any other questions for me? Then
I'm
again,
fine. Anybody else? All right, thank you.
My neighbor, Bob Nemiroff.
Sir, would you state and spell your full name, please?
Yes, Robert Nemiroff, Nemeroff. I reside at 89 Lavender Drive in Yardley at Regency.
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir, I do.
Would you like to be a party to this matter?
I would.
I have
Mr.
no
Carter.
objection.
Thank you.
Members of the board, good evening. I'll refer to Mr. UMANSKY. I know it's his company, but it's easier for me to use his name than the full company name. Mr. UMANSKY seeks two variances from Article 12, Sections 200-47, capital A 3F, and 200-47, capital A 3A of the Lower Makefield Zoning Code. While Mr. UMANSKY maintains that the variance from Section 247A3F is de minimis, his development plan is technically non-compliant with that section's density requirements. As you know, the code requires a maximum of 4.6 units per acre. And Mr. UMANSKY's plan proposes 4.65 units per acre, thus his need for a variance. Now, the code also maintains that such a requirement applies where the minimum lot acreage is 10 acres. Nevertheless, that specific requirement was addressed here tonight, despite the fact that the proposed development on the tract, which only consists of 3.5 acres, obviously is less than 10 acres. So in their presentation, they are obviously concerned with that requirement, calling it de minimis, which of course obviates the need on their part to demonstrate a hardship. Nevertheless, that requirement was addressed, notwithstanding the size of the tract being less than the 10-acre requirement in the code. As the board is aware, a variance may be granted where one, unique physical conditions or circumstances of the property create an unnecessary hardship. Two, because of such unique physical conditions, the property cannot be developed in strict conformity with the zoning code. Three, the hardship has not been created by the applicant. Four, the variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood, nor impair the use of adjacent property, nor be detrimental to the public welfare. And five, the variance, if granted, will represent the minimum variance that will afford relief and the least modification of the regulations in issue. Now, all 5 of these requirements must be met, and if any one of the 5 are not met, the variance request should be denied. But once again, we're dealing with a 3.5-acre tract, not a 10-acre tract. So what I heard from the presentation tonight was, because of that, you can dispense with any evaluation, with any hardship evaluation relative to the mixed-use requirement of the code, which, as you know, requires 60% attached or detached single-family homes and 40% multifamily building. Now, I suspect that it would be quite impractical to build a combination of multifamily building and detached or unattached single-family homes on a 3.5-acre tract. I recognize that. But does that mean that you dispense entirely with a hardship evaluation? The code doesn't say that. The code simply says minimum lot 10 acres, mixed use 40/60, density requirement 4.6. It doesn't say if it's less than 10 acres, you can dispense completely with a hardship evaluation, which is what is being asked of you this evening, because they know they can't meet that. Instead, the arguments that I've heard are compatible use to the surrounding use, consistent with the both the county and the township comprehensive plan, all of which makes sense. There are surrounding communities consisting of townhomes that don't contain multifamily buildings. That's irrelevant on the issue of hardship. It's certainly relevant as to compatible use, granted, but that's only one of 5 requirements that I've just alluded to. So you have to ask yourself, have I heard any evidence in this case that supports the fact that some particular unique condition or circumstance of the tract itself is the cause for failure to comply with the mixed-use requirement if you decide that that requirement applies to a 3.5-acre tract? I didn't hear any. And I believe that's because an assumption was made that because it's not 10 acres, we don't have to demonstrate hardship. I leave that to your determination. Thank you.
Please remain. Please remain, and let's just make sure to see if anyone has any questions. Mr. Garten.
I think Eugene has some questions.
Okay. That's okay, Bob. Thanks.
Anybody else?
Anybody up here? Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to clarify one thing before the next person goes. The argument about de minimis is in relation to the dwelling units per acre, as it's I think it's like a 1.1% difference. There's still a hardship still has to be shown for the other variance, which is using 100% attached units instead of the 60% limit. So it really only focuses on one of the two, just as a point of clarification.
Would you state and spell your full name, please?
Sure. Kyle Melander, K-Y-L-E-M-E-L-A-N-D-E-R. I'm here on behalf of Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick, by the
I'm
way.
going to ask for an offer of proof. Are you a resident of Lower Makefield?
Langhorne, I actually live a mile away from the impacted area.
I'm not going to agree to him having party status. The congressman has no party status. He lives in Middletown. This is not a political forum. This is a zoning hearing board application.
I would argue that the congressman represents all constituents of Pennsylvania's 1st Congressional District that include residents from Lower Makefield.
I would agree that he can't have party status, but I'm not opposed to him speaking.
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kyle Melander, and I'm here on behalf of Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick. To the chair, the vice chair, members of the board, I just want to say I thank you for your time today and allowing me to address you all, the board, and the residents here joining us as well, as it relates to the Regency at Yardley, and more specifically the proposal by Trinity. And I speak to you tonight not only as a representative of the congressman, but also as a neighbor. As I referenced, I live just 1 mile away from the proposed site, so I understand firsthand the character of the area and the concerns of the residents here in Lower Makefield and in the impacted area. So over the last few weeks, our office has heard from a large number of residents, not just a few, a large number. As was shown before, they had about 277 signatories on a petition that was circulated, which reflects very strongly an organized community opposition. And the concerns that were brought to our office were stormwater, drainage issues, loss of open space, increased traffic and safety risks, public health impacts, zoning variances and noncompliance, proximity to sensitive wetlands, and relative environmental risks. Now, from our experience, our office has seen firsthand the negative consequences of unchecked development, especially in the Lower Bucks area, where similar projects have led to serious flooding, drainage, and infrastructure issues. More specifically, we understand this area is already prone to flooding, and there is a wetland designation near Lavender Drive. And these are not hypothetical risks. They are documented issues that can be specifically worsened, or potentially worsened, by this development. In light of these concerns, Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick sent a formal letter to the EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin asking for a direct review of the proposal to ensure full compliance with NEPA and other federal environmental protections. Now, I'm sure many of you joining us here today are aware of the recent Courier Times article addressing this development project. Now, I think it's very important to highlight the developer's response to the community feedback. When Trinity was asked about these legitimate concerns, they chose to dismiss them and actually belittle them. In their response, I found it actually quite insulting to the residents, where they essentially said, there's nothing to see here. Now, we're obviously glad that you're joining us today and explaining the project. However, I would argue that criticizing every concern that was addressed to you, I'd also consider saying that, the residents should welcome this project because there is stormwater issues and we're going to fix it. I don't necessarily believe that it leads credence to your argument or your position. I would just say it makes you look mean. It's very dismissive of the concerns of these residents joining us here today.
Can you focus on what your issues are?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
So as the chair referenced, we are very early in the zoning process right now. So the congressman requests that, I know we're very early in the zoning process right now, but we strongly urge that no approvals be granted until a thorough multi-level review is completed, especially considering the significant environmental impacts at stake. Now, as the board continues these deliberations, we just respectfully request full and fair considerations to all the residents joining us here today. And with that, I'll yield back.
Do you know when you would hear back from the EPA?
It all varies. So we can have a staff level briefing pretty much at any time. It could take about a couple of weeks or so. A formal response from an EPA, from the EPA administrator, I would say probably about a month or so.
You legitimately think it could be that fast?
Potentially, yes.
Considering that the EPA's teeth and claws have been gone?
We still work very closely with the Region 4 EPA office here in the Commonwealth.
And they're still staffed? They haven't all been doged?
Absolutely. We have worked very closely with them over many matters regarding the issues of Pennsylvania's 1st Congressional District.
I have some question, as does Eugene. Kyle, now, if there weren't 250 voters, would you be here tonight?
No. Well, so we would absolutely be here. We would absolutely be here because whenever a concern is brought to our concern, the congressman always advocates regardless of the matter. So the fact that there were many constituents of our community that brought the matter to our attention, the congressman's compelled as a representative of this region to advocate for his constituents.
So are you familiar with the neighborhood?
I am, yeah, very familiar. I've driven past
Are
it
you familiar
hundreds
with
of
the
times.
fact this parcel is only 3.5 acres?
I don't know the specifics.
Did you see all the massive amount of homes that are adjoining this property?
I don't know the specifics again.
So how could 3.5 acres and 16 houses make a material difference on traffic?
Well, one, let's take in consideration the construction impacts of the region. So we're going to have large vehicles coming in and out, and also the impacts of just egress to the area as well from the new residents.
Well,
Can you just get closer to the mic again? I mean, I hear you, but the.
would construction vehicles have been available when the Regency Yardley was constructed?
I'm sure they were.
Did the congressman show up in opposition to that project?
What year was it constructed?
I don't know.
I don't believe it was during his tenure as a member of Congress.
Okay, now, also, where are the wetlands you talked about?
So from what the information provided to our office was by Lavender Drive, and what was also provided to our office was documented instances of flooding that impact, I believe it was 6 or 7 houses, if I remember correctly.
Now, that, you said on Lavender Drive is where the wetlands are?
That's based on the information provided to our office, yes.
So it's not on this property?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, and where is the stormwater that is affecting the Regency Yardley coming from? Do you know?
The stormwater impacting the Regency at Yardley, I'm not familiar.
So you don't even know if it comes from this property, correct?
Based on the information that was provided to our office, it was deriving from this property.
Did you hear the engineer testify?
I did, yeah.
Did you hear he say when this project is complete, the stormwater issues will be dealt with on site?
So what I think is very important to articulate here is that we're advocating based on concerns that were brought to our attention. So we were advocating based off the evidence that was provided to our office.
I'm just
You
going
don't
to
have any
pause, I'm just going to pause you for a second. I'm getting texts. People at home can't hear you.
So,
I know it's difficult.
okay, you don't have any independent evidence of this, do you?
About the direct flood, I'm
Well,
sorry, I missed the question.
The
What was
issues
it?
that you've articulated is why the congressman's interested. You don't have any direct evidence, do you?
I mean, I could provide to you the
Do
evidence
you
that was
have
given
any
to our
direct
office.
evidence tonight?
In my emails, I could provide it to you.
Well, is it your evidence or is it an email from someone else?
It was information provided to our office from constituents that are here.
Okay, do you have any questions?
I do. I do have questions. You said you live a mile away.
I do.
Do you see the site from your residence?
I drive by the Regency just about every day.
Not the question. Do you see the site from your residence?
I don't know.
Do you hear any noise from the site or traffic from the site where you live?
I think it's very important to note that I'm here on behalf of the congressman advocating
It's
based
just-
on concerns that were provided to our office.
I understand that.
And you're going to, take the personal position on whether or not I'm a party in this argument. And, I mean, we could go down that rabbit hole. That's fine.
I'm just looking for a yes or no answer. I did not interrupt you when you said I belittled the residents. Please answer.
Okay. Well, that was my time, but no.
Thank you. How many residents reached out to you? You said it was many. Reached out to the office, I'm sorry, not you.
I'd say in totality, over a dozen or so.
Okay. What environmental impacts are at stake? That was the exact language you used.
The information that was provided to our office was that there is potential existing wetlands in the region. On top of that, there was houses that have been directly impacted by flooding caused by this area.
By this area, do you mean our parcel?
I believe it was the properties that are bordering the parcel.
Okay, fair enough. And one last question, because it's very personal. Do you have a quote to point to where I belittle or say anything negative about the residents?
I believe it was the first sentence of your statement in the article, which was, the residents don't want this because they just don't want it in their backyard. I think a callous statement just leading like that says, nothing else matters, that's all they care about. So my point was, that was just a callous statement, let's cool the temperature here. And again, we appreciate the information that you guys provided. It was very informative. Let's work together on this.
And one more question. Do you believe that all the topics you mentioned are part of or should be admitted as part of today's discussion? As Chair Doherty said earlier, are they zoning matters?
They were zoning matters that were brought to our attention from residents. So I'll leave that up to the board to decide whether or not they admit it to evidence or not.
Thank you.
State and spell your full name, please.
Yeah, my name is Dennis, 2 N's, O'Sullivan, O apostrophe, capital Sullivan.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth?
Yes.
Your address?
71 Lavender Drive in the Regency at Yardley, and I would like to have party status.
No objection.
Before I say anything, I just want to say that everything in this society is being politicized, and this is not a political issue. And I think that tone was inappropriate. We reached out to Democrats, and we reached out to Republicans, and the office of Brian Fitzpatrick gave us some time. He was willing to engage with us. I'm not going to name the other names, okay? But let's not politicize this, please. It's inappropriate. Good evening. My name is Dennis O'Sullivan. I reside at 71 Lavender Drive, and the proposed project that we are discussing tonight is literally going up less than 100 feet from where I sleep. I want to first thank Kyle Melander from Congressman Fitzpatrick's office for being here tonight, and also the congressman himself for engaging with us and offering assistance as we navigate this process, which is very much new to us. This is not what I want to be doing at age 69, believe me. I echo what Mr. Bob Nemiroff has stated, as well as Kyle, and urge the zoning hearing board to deny the variance request as they simply do not meet the zoning requirements that at one time were put into place for good reason. Should you not be in a position tonight to deny these variance requests and end this, then sufficient time must be allotted for thorough and exhaustive studies across multiple dimensions that affect the quality of life and the public health and safety for hundreds of existing residents that live in the area. We have confidence in the zoning board and know that you will be guided by sound logic and the greater good. We thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration.
Eugene, you have any questions? Eugene, you have any questions?
Yeah, sorry. Hi, Dennis.
Eugene, how are you, buddy?
So
Eugene and I had coffee more than once.
that was going to be one of my questions, but we can skip that. I just whether this is maybe not be that critical to the discussion, but who politicized this?
Well, I certainly got the tone that Kyle standing up here, all of a sudden it became a political issue.
Oh, okay.
That's the sentiment I got. Don't know if
Gotcha.
anyone else picked up on that.
Gotcha. Dennis, you're asking the board to deny the variances, and that's your right and all the residents' right. Our variance, there are by right options for this parcel. How would you treat a by right application? It would still be a development.
Mm-hmm.
There would still be construction. There would be no zoning forum. What would be, is your position, I've talked to you about this many times, is it your position that you're opposing the 16 homes or the 15 homes because they're all attached? Or is it your position that you don't want any construction on this site?
Well, I'm not going to speak for anybody but myself. You would be hard-pressed to convince me that building anything within 100 feet of where I sleep is going to be good for my quality of life, or my ability to get a good night's sleep, or it's going to minimize the amount of traffic in the area. And unless you have green dye when it rains, how is anyone to know where this water is coming from? All I know is that the parcel that you want to develop is higher, 10 feet higher than where I live. Water runs downhill. I'm no civil engineer, but I believe water runs downhill. We are crammed in as it is, like sardines. We can't make a left out of our own development on Big Oak Road. So you say, what's another 15 or 16 townhomes? That's another 30 cars plus guests. That's not going to help our traffic congestion. We are the most congested area in this township. And everybody comes through where we live to get to all the Home Depots and Dick's Sporting Goods. So you can't tell me that developing this property is in the greater good. It's not. You don't meet, respectfully, you don't meet the current zoning requirements. Therefore, the variances should be denied. I'm a math major. It's sound logic.
So no construction whatsoever is your position?
No. Like when we met with you and Mr. Garten in his office, you kind of insinuated that we'd be hearing small children scream because you're going to put up a daycare center. And I have witnesses to that
No, I
effect.
don't disagree. We said that's an option.
That's right. That was your plan B. You made it perfectly clear to us. Well, you know what? A daycare center is closed on weekends. They shut down at night. And when I'm out there barbecuing on my back deck, there's not going to be anybody out there on their back deck waving to me. So is a daycare center better than the 16 townhomes? I don't know.
Dennis, one more question, I'm sorry. You said waving at you and seeing someone. You said your home is 10 feet lower than this property?
Yes.
There is a berm there, correct?
No, not to my
Your home, let me rephrase, your home has a lower topography and lower elevation than our property.
That's correct.
Do you know if that was...
To my eye, that's correct.
Your eye. Do you know if that was created by toll or natural?
I actually wonder about that.
Okay, fair. Did I or did I not propose a plan where we would put up almost whatever buffering you guys would like to screen off any view you would have, and you would be looking at flowers, trees, whatever the case? It's a yes or no question, please. Did I not propose that?
Yes.
Okay. With respect to construction, noise, dust, and things of that sort, did I not propose putting up landscape buffering in the beginning of the project and fence and screening in the beginning of the job, which is not how things are done, to try to alleviate that for the neighbors?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for me?
All right, whoever's next is going to have a tough act to follow.
State and spell your full name, please.
I've been following it for 3 or 4 years now. Hi, good evening. My name is Stephen Young. I reside...
Would you spell your full name?
Sure. STEVENYOUNG.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And your address, please.
I do. Address, I live at 67 Lavender Drive with my wife Marjorie. That's on the south side, contiguous to the proposed project. My property and back deck are situated 20 feet from the development in question. And I will be concise. I have signed the petition. The petition asks for a delay in the vote, and my primary reason for signing that petition was to make sure that there was enough time so that all land development issues and open space possibilities can be fully researched. And I understand that not all those are before your board tonight. So I'm going to focus on my objection to the variance request, because I asked you to deny the mixed use and total units variance request. Neither adhere to the very zoning requirements that this board put into place. The Trinity Plan, in my opinion, has offered nothing to suggest that a variance should be approved by this board, and does not consider any possible development in conformity with the provisions of the zoning ordinance currently in place. It is, in my humble opinion, alternatively, strictly a representation of a self-inflicted hardship that was created by the buyer/developer and builder, as opposed to an honest attempt to create a financially feasible project that meets LMT zoning requirements. I believe that approval of such an application would set a dangerous precedent for this and future developers who might then routinely come before you and apply for out-of-scope plans. There are a lot of other issues that are important to us. They don't pertain to the variance request, so I won't mention them. I just thank you for your time. I ask that you be guided by your commitment to good public stewardship and ethical leadership and by denying these variances. And I ask that you support stated township policy and our inherent community values rather than upsetting the quality of life for hundreds of current residents. You guys can be heroes to us and future generations. I thank you for this opportunity.
Excuse me, before you step down,
Yes.
would you like to be a party to this matter?
Oh, yes, they're very important. I would like to be a party to these proceedings. Thank you.
No objection.
Thank you very much, sir.
No, it's too late. You got to say it at first. You're out.
All right.
You're out.
So let me start over. I will be very. Thank you. Questions?
Have any questions?
No, Steve, thank you.
I have no questions.
State and spell full name, please.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Stephen Cargo, Stephencargo.
You can pull that down.
You solemnly swear or affirm testimony about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
And your address?
35 Fern Drive. I have, I'm sort of playing cleanup batter here tonight. I want to clarify several points that have been discussed or provide some additional information that I have. And I also want to provide these documents, which include photographs of the drainage issues behind the homes on Lavender. And it also includes...
Sir, you gotta keep the mic with you.
It's being recorded and watched at home.
These documents also include a plot showing the wetlands area that were referenced earlier in the discussion. So I have a copy for each of you. I'm going to pass it around now.
I'm going to object to the wetland delineation. He's not an expert.
It's not my testimony. It's a document that was formally evaluated and presented
It
by...
needs to be authenticated.
Well,
Let me pass it out.
I'm objecting.
hold on a second. Dan, is any part of this property in the wetlands or wetland buffer?
So, looking on the Bucks County parcel viewer, and this is their information, not the township's, does not appear to be any wetlands on the property based off of the layer from the Bucks County parcel viewer. Not on, there's none on the property that the developer is.
I have a document here.
And is it within the buffer?
So
of
that
any
image that
wetlands?
you're referring to, the green, is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
That's on the Regency, that's not on the,
I understand.
okay,
I understand. That's. I wasn't claiming that it's on
okay,
anywhere
just to
else.
clarify.
May I distribute these copies?
Still don't see the relevance of wetlands on Regency. Continuing objection.
I also don't know the efficacy of the data for the wetlands, so I don't know if it was determined by the Army Corps of Engineers.
So,
This microphone's not working.
so
I know how to speak.
what I think is, I'd like you to distribute it. Because it's not on the parcel, we're not going to enter it in the record. But I think your point, what you're trying to make is, hey, we have wetlands on our property, and you're going to try to correlate it to the development. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that's correct. And actually, one of the areas that's shown as the wetlands here is actually the backyards now of several of the people who have spoken. It's on the back. It's on the back of the Lavender Drive properties.
Right, so basically, Mr. Gordon, this is the neighbor showing up and saying, hey, I got a soggy yard and I'm concerned.
Whatever weight you want to provide it, I'm not going to go any further with my objection. I made it, and you're going to accept it.
Thank you.
How many more do you think we got back there? How many more do you think we have back there?
I'm sorry, what?
How many more do you think we have back there?
Oh, I think he's the last one.
You think so?
Well, in a prepared statement. I'd like to figure out how to phrase a question to him next, like how is this our problem that was told? Thank you.
You can do that.
Okay, so included in that package, you'll see the diagram showing the wetlands as I described. And one of the areas is actually right next to my home, and it's a drainage basin. It's a catch basin that is supposed to drain after 72 hours of rain. It does not drain because the soil in this area is all clay. And the photos of the standing water behind the homes on Lavender are also there because the water does not go into the ground. It's clay, and clay will not absorb water. Okay, so that's my point regarding the drainage. Any questions on that point?
Board, any questions? Mr. Garten?
Sir, the project that you live in was built by Toll Brothers, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Jeff, can you make sure you're talking to the microphone? I know I'm bothering you. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. So the project you live in was built by Toll Brothers, correct?
Yes, correct.
And they designed the stormwater system, did they not?
Of course, but it doesn't work.
So why is that my client's problem that your stormwater system doesn't work?
The issue is the lack of ability for the land to drain water.
You've already heard that we will comply with the township's
Well,
ordinances with respect to
Toll said the same thing.
Well, that's not our problem.
You can't do it. You won't necessarily do it any better than Toll.
Go ahead.
Wow, it's hard to just...
Let's say that Toll's engineers designed the project perfectly and within all required codes and means. Do you think there's any chance that it might have been constructed incorrectly or something missed? Any chance?
Last year, Toll did a remediation project on the drainage basins. They spent over around $1 million on this work to remediate the drainage basins, including participation by the township in the agreement of the plans. Those plans have failed. The water does not drain from the basin next to me. It is in one of the photos that I distributed. And actually, right now, it's worse than that. It's a cesspool. You know, it's just mosquitoes, everything. It's just totally undesirable. Okay, so I'd like to move on to a couple other points. I just want to clarify some of the discussion points. Regarding the value differential between the homes, Eugene mentioned that one home recently sold for $11,150. That home is a center home. It is you know, the content of the home is upscale. The owner paid about, I believe, $900,000 2 or 3 years ago to buy that from Toll, and now the value has gone up to $11,150 or $1,150,000. Other homes on Lavender, I believe, have even higher values. There's a home on the corner of Lavender and Fern that was sold by Toll for $1 million. Since that, they have completely finished their basement. They've added molding on everything, like this molding. They have every place in their house, everywhere you can look. So they probably have, you know, I don't know, they haven't told me, but at least $200,000 or $300,000 in that. So you're looking at a home that the buyer or the owner has put at least $1.3 million in, and the house next to them sold for $1,150,000 without all of the upgrades that they have or the size of their home. So my belief is that the homes along the backside of Lavender that are adjacent to the proposed project have a value of at least $1 million, you know, consistent with this one that just sold. That is, you know, my view. I don't have documentation for that other than the fact that this one home did sell. Okay? Any questions on that point?
Can I hold questions until the end?
Sure.
Okay, I just want to comment, follow up a little bit on what Jack said about the historical nature of the home on the property. The owner and the builder of that home, as Jack mentioned, was a Satterwaith family. That family was one of the original developers of the area, and that home was one of their major homestead houses. This family was very wealthy. In fact, I believe they owned the property that is now 5 Mile Woods. So they owned all the way down Big Oak Road. And the house is referenced in a will, which I didn't bring with me, but I believe the house is referenced in that will as already being occupied. And I don't remember the date of that will, but I think there's strong evidence that the house was built before 1800, 1790, something like that. Okay, so those are my comments, my clarifications.
Eugene, you have questions?
Yes, I do. First, am I allowed to ask Chirag a question?
Well, if it's relevant to his testimony, yes.
Yes. Chirag, in case of when after testing is done and soil borings and all that evaluation, if there are indications of potentially poor drainage, are there ways to engineer around that?
Well, like I said, the project will require an NPDES permit. As part of that permit, you have to design to the state standards, you have to build it to the state standards, and you have to certify it to the state standards, one of which certification would be observed by a professional engineer, a geotech engineer / and or the township rep. So the township engineer will come out and inspect it because stormwater facilities are considered critical facilities. They're different than storm pipes. They're different than inlets. They're given more importance in the permitting process from the federal permit, which is the permit that I'm referring to, NPDES permit. So it's not that you just build it, the contractor builds it and then hands over the keys and then you just wait for things to sort of work itself out. It does not go that way.
Well, as I said, the toll attempt to remediate the drainage basins did include the township engineer. It included other consulting engineers, and they had a plan. The plan is not adequate because the soil will not drain.
Yeah, there are two items to that, if I could respond directly. One is that one specific facility failing does not generally say the entire area is not susceptible or ideal for stormwater. I mean, how many facilities are there all over the township? And then if that's the equation that we use, then every facility should be failing. So
We're
that's
talking
not
about the
it.
soil that's right at
Understood.
that location.
Understood. The second thing is that in the township ordinances and actually in the DEP ordinances, there are provisions for putting stormwater facilities where the soil is not conducive. They are called managed release concepts. They are approved by DEP routinely. We design them. And that having a bad soil does not mean stop to development. DEP understands it. They have it on their books that when you don't have a good soil, for instance, if you have a very clay soil, then there are ways around engineering it and do go through the permitting process, and those facilities are built and they operate. So there are multiple ways around it. I think we are generalizing one particular stormwater facility that may not have been built, constructed, properly designed, constructed, whatever the case may be. But I don't think you can generalize everything that ties to that one facility that's failing.
Okay, I understand your point, but as I said, the engineers and Toll went through that design process, that build process. They spent a lot of money. It doesn't work. Any other questions?
Yes, sorry, Steve. Going back to the pricing of the homes, do you know the sale prices of the recent, let's call it 5 or 6 homes sold in your community?
I'm referencing the homes on the side of Lavender that's adjacent to this proposed development. I know there have been other homes that have sold for lower values, but the homes that are on this property, were charged significant lot premiums by toll when they purchased those homes. I understand some of those premiums were as much as $50,000, which, you know, in the context of a $1.2 million, $1.3 million home, 50,000 may not be that large a portion of it, but their expectation, you know, toll may have misrepresented, I don't know. But I'm just saying that the value of those homes along the back of Lavender is substantially more than many of the homes within Regency at Yardley, and is substantially more than the proposed sale prices that you referenced.
You said you live at 35 Fern, is that correct?
That's correct.
How far would you say you are from our property?
I'm across the street.
Is there a home for sale next to you?
There was a home 2 doors down from me that's for sale for $750,000.
How big is that home?
Probably about 2,000 square feet.
That's correct. So it's for sale for $750,000, which was our indicated price, and it's 1,966 square feet, which is a little bit under our indicated price. Is that
home does
is that
not
correct?
That home does not have the features that I'm talking about the homes along the back of Lavender have. That home does not have a basement.
Understood. That's all. I'm just comparing. I got it.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying it's not really comparable.
No other questions?
Okay, thank you. Oh, and I would like to be party to the proceedings.
No objection?
Did you sign the petition? I forget if you
Yes, I
said
did.
that. Okay, thank you.
So Dan, can you do me a favor and just open up to the site map that was just provided?
Sure.
Are we to believe that those homes were built right in a wetlands? Because that's what it looks like.
I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer that.
Well, let's not just say they were when we don't know.
We don't know. We don't have the facts.
Mr. Majewski?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Everybody, if you don't know this guy, it's the big kahuna, but I don't know if he'll be sworn in that way.
Good evening. I'm Jim Majewski. I'm Lower Makefield Township Community Development Director. Do I need to be sworn in? Or?
Are you going to testify or just provide some observation?
I'm going to provide an observation or some historical background.
Well, just to be safe, why don't you be sworn in?
State your name, please.
James R. Majewski.
So I swear from testimony about the case, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
To clarify the issue of wetlands at the Regency at Yardley, where the homes are built were not classified to be wetlands back when the site was developed. The developer had a wetlands delineation done, a report prepared, testing done, and that was all approved by the Army Corps of Engineers at the time of the development. There are wetlands on the site overall, but those areas are areas that are not built upon for the most part.
Okay, appreciate it. The gentleman who just testified, could you come, was it Mr. Young?
No,
Oh, no, yeah. Could you come back up, please? Thanks, Jimmy.
Actually, I have one more question for Jim here.
Oh, Jimmy, Pete's not dismissing you.
This is relative to the managed release stormwater. I believe that there's a couple of managed release stormwater facilities on the Dobry Road area, correct?
No, the Dobry Road project has...
The south side one. Didn't that have?
Oh, yes, that's correct. Okay.
Yeah.
The assisted living. And also, I know the wetlands information that had been obtained from the county, that's from wetlands inventory maps that had been prepared years and years ago. However, like I had stated, the wetlands delineation was done and approved by the Army Corps of Engineers at the time of development.
So, excuse me, Jim, are you saying this was from this is outdated? Is that what you're saying, or?
Yeah, it's a general guidance that was done from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers They have wetland inventory maps that showed where they thought wetlands were based on aerial photography in areas that maybe looked wet at the time. However, that needs to be confirmed by delineation by a wetland scientist who goes out, walks sites, observes it, does testing, as the applicant for this project ultimately will need to do on their site just to confirm the absence or presence of wetlands.
So if Dan went in right now, is this what he would pull up?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
That's what it looked, and sorry, that's what I was trying to say when my microphone cut out. I can't verify the data, like Jim was saying, or the efficacy of it, but when you look at the map, that's what it visually looks like.
Yeah, it's a general guidance document that we do use to look at areas, but it's not the definitive wetlands.
Yeah, that's the question I had for you, Jimmy answered.
Well, let me just point out that two of those wetland areas shown on that map are now drainage basins that do not drain. The two green areas on the left side of that schedule are drainage basins. One of them is the one I provided you the photo, which is next to my home and does not drain. The other one does not drain either. The third area that's highlighted in green on there is behind, it's consistent with the photos I gave you of water in people's backyards, okay? That green area is where those people live.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to mark that packet just for identification purposes, not admitting due to the objection, but we're going to mark it collectively as Cargo 1, just for identification purposes.
Any additional public comment in the room? Do we have any public comment online? No public comment online. Okay. So before we discuss this, are there any, does the board, does the township, or Suzanne, anybody have any additional questions before we start talking amongst ourselves?
Who took the picture of the eagles? Is that real? Like, is somebody in the room who took it?
Yeah, that's the cell tower adjacent to the farmhouse. We have, over the years, we've had eagles and they've had offspring every year, I believe.
So what the audience member is saying, they're just clarifying that the picture of the two bald eagles was taken by someone in the audience and that they have observed other birds around the area. Sorry, blinking light person. When they can't hear you, they blink a light, so.
David Nashik, I live at 55 Lavender.
If you're going to do it, you got to do it.
Sorry, yes.
Say your name again for me, please.
David Nashik, N is Nancy, A-S-H-I-C-K.
You solemnly swear from testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth?
I do.
Your address one more time?
55 Lavender Drive. I back up directly, I face the farmhouse. Yes, the eagles are out there almost daily. If they're not there, we have fox, we have deer, we have hawks, we have owls. It's a wildlife refuge to a degree. My own word.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. One last chance for public comment. Okay, that ends our public comment. Hold on, we got the big kahuna. He's coming forward.
And I actually have I actually have questions too. I have questions for the township too.
It's not a public comment, but I just want to make a clarification. The map that is on the county's website is not from the Army Corps of Engineers. It's the National Wetlands Inventory from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Just a clarification.
Thank you for that clarification.
Dan, what would the impervious surface limits be for this property under all the use right categories? What would the limit be? Or is it all?
Do you mean what's being proposed?
Yes.
42%.
Well, they're proposing 42%. What's the code maximum for the space?
60.
And that would be for the other uses groups too?
Yes, it's site-wide. It's not-
Site-wide, no matter what if it was
Correct.
a C3 use, it'd be 60%.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, not sure if it matters, but existing, I did the math, it's like 1.2. with the
Okay.
house, yeah.
All right, so this is where we're going to start talking out loud with each other and weighing facts and opinions. Before we do, I just want to say something. Jerome, the planner, made a point about Bucks County has a comprehensive plan they approved in 2024, and LMT had a 2019 comprehensive plan, and that it specified that age qualified would make the most sense for this parcel. The zoning board didn't participate in that comprehensive plan. I just want everybody in this room to know we don't play a role in any of that. We don't have a dog in that fight. So I just want everyone to understand we are literally an independent body. I don't know how this is going to go tonight, but what I can tell you is I don't want anyone leaving here thinking, well, the township has a comprehensive plan and it said X, so they just rubber stamped it. That's not what we do, okay? So, everybody, here's where I'm at, right? Like Mr. O'Sullivan made a great point. He said sound logic. When I look at this parcel, this is my opinion. My opinion is we're always looking at highest and best use. So what's the highest and best use? Well, I listen to all those uses. This is probably the highest and best use, which means it's the most maximally productive use for this lot, i.e., the owner is able to sell this lot for the most money because this use will yield the most money. But that doesn't mean we grant a variance for it because, again, somebody else brought up the fact about hardships needing to be proven. But like to me, Mr. UMANSKY asked Mr. O'Sullivan, and he said, what would you do if there was a by right use? What would you do if he wanted to put an auto body shop there and he didn't need a variance? Nobody in this room would have a forum. Nobody. You guys could jump up and down, yell and scream, possibly sue at your own expense, but you wouldn't have a forum to come and say, I don't like what he's doing. In my opinion, what he's doing does make sense to me. I don't know about anyone else here, but what I will say is there's a lot of opposition. So guys, I'm all for 15 townhomes, just so we can throw everybody in this room a bone and we get rid of one of these variances. But the other thing is, I think it conforms with the Regency at Yardley, which they have the same variance that would be remaining, which is they have a skewed attached unit ratio. So that's how I feel about it. Again, I think it's doing as much as I can for these people in the room, but also understanding that someone owns this lot, they have a right to develop it, and if they're asking for a variance that already exists in the adjacent parcel times 10, I'm fine. That's my 2 cents, people. That's for everybody up here, but you guys all heard it.
Okay, I'm in a somewhat similar place to Jim here, and I think another thing that could be incorporated, which was the reason for the questions behind the impervious, would be to add a condition limiting the impervious to less than 60%, which would be better than any of the by right uses on the property. Again, recognizing some of the comment in the room.
So Pete, can you do me a favor, explain that to everyone in the room so they understand what you mean, because I know what you're saying. Like if someone did a commercial build, they might max out that 60%, correct?
Correct, yes. They could easily put in the parking lots for it, or say the auto body shop, you have storage yard for all the equipment. They could max it out to 60%. We could incorporate as part of I'm proposing to incorporate as part of the approval of the variance here, say restricting the impervious to 45%, which does allow for some additional build out of the houses over time, but would be 25% less impervious than would be allowed by the by right use.
So, Mr. UMANSKY, do you, or Chirag, do you know what the impervious on this build is going to be now? Like, I know the allowable 60, what are you proposing?
I think, Dan, I think the allowable under commercial is 65. I'm just going through, it's section 245.
It's 60. Yeah, it's right on your plan. As a matter of fact,
No, that's for the age-restricted product.
Okay, yeah, well, that's what we're
General
sticking with.
C3,
Now, we're going to stick with the age restriction.
Okay, so actually, that's something else then to point out here, is if that really is backed up by the township, you're already going to age restricted is less impervious than the other by right
that's
use.
exactly where I was going.
So what would be reasonable, Pete? Like, they're at 42 now. Would it be to say cap them at 50% impervious?
I would think that'd be more than adequate. I was going to think 45 or 46, enough for people to build back porches and patios.
Yeah, that's
over
what I'm
time.
concerned about.
Yeah, typically you allow most of the recorded, if not all recorded plans I've seen in the township, they normally give you an additional 3% inclusive of the developer so that you can add an improvement to your property that is impervious.
And Mr. Umansky, you spoke directly to Mr. O'Sullivan, and you asked him a question. You said, did I or did I not offer to build a landscape buffer, a temporary one and then a permanent one? And then, Pete, can you show me that picture? Where did that come from?
The pictures on the drawing that was submitted as exhibit, I don't have the exhibit labels here, but it's part of the main original package.
Part of this package right here?
Exhibit
On the
2?
plan. Yeah.
Right
bottom
your
left.
elbow,
Here
the
it is.
original, yeah.
So
There it is up on the screen.
Would you be willing, on the back property line, to build like what you show in this picture, so that the neighbors behind,
And just for the record, you're holding up Exhibit A2.
yeah, right down here, would you be willing to build like a wall of arborvitae's?
We can just make it a condition of the.
It's
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
already in there.
If you're willing to do that in good faith, we could make that a condition of the approval. That's what I'm asking you.
Yes, I did not specify that I will plant them 20 feet tall, but no, I just want to clarify that
Yeah,
the answer is
okay.
yes, but up to a certain height limit at planting.
Yeah, okay, that's fair, but so we can figure something out. Again, trying to
I'm complicating
heal
it,
some
yes.
wounds in the room.
Is there any proposed, just for clarification, is there any other proposed landscaping besides that buffer line on the property?
There will be as part of the land development application subdivision, but not during the discussions.
Christian, you usually have some pretty good points.
I think everybody who's been engaged here has made a lot of my points and asked a lot of the questions. I think what a lot of people in the audience still don't understand, they're not asking for a variance that has to do with impervious surface. So stormwater management is critical to the project, but they're not asking for a variance, so there's nothing that we really need to do other than Peter's request to tack on a limit to the impervious surface. I'm fine with that. And as far as open space goes and whether the home is historically significant or not, isn't in our purview of this board. It's something they can address when it goes to the Board of Supervisors, I believe, for final approval. And I think that's where the appropriate place is for all the other concerns.
Judy, Mike?
Again, my first concern was it is more the Board of Supervisors' purview. We have no way of saying, yes, you have to leave the house or whatever. That is not in, unfortunately. For us, it's really, is there a hardship? I'm kind of on the path where at least I would like to see one less unit. I think that might, it would give a little bit more space around it. I think it might control water a little bit more.
Willing to do that?
And that would avoid having one of the variances.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets us as close to by right.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I understand a lot of the neighbors in the room.
I do.
Now, Mr. O'Sullivan said it perfectly, right?
It is.
In a perfect world, he doesn't want anything 100 feet from his bedroom window. But
Blame him.
that's just not how land development works, unfortunately.
No. Thank you.
But, you know, the neighbors, they kind of have, like I said, a skewed ratio, so I think it would be like a good sense of fairness. Pete, how do you feel about 15 units as opposed to 16?
I commented that I was fine with. That was why I originally asked what the dwelling unit ratio was way back at the start of the questioning.
Christian?
I guess my question then is for Mr. Umansky. Do you have an issue with 15 versus 16?
You want to raise the question? As a novel thought, if you want to listen for a second.
I just want to ask that this, the decision of 15 would be for 15 new homes, if that's able to be qualified, in case we come to an agreement for us to keep the existing home as number 16.
Are you talking about the farmhouse?
Correct.
I mean,
wants the one- he wants
I
the-
know I wouldn't have a problem with it.
No, just any approval would specifically state the construction of 15 new homes.
Yes, that's, I guess, my clarification there, yes.
No, that's fine. It seems to indicate that at least somebody here has listened to us previous discussions about projects out at Edgewood Village.
I thought that was a cul-de-sac, the house.
How you feeling about all this?
Yeah, I think it's the best use of the property. Unfortunately, I think that Toll Brothers probably, you know, led on that maybe that property was never going to be developed, and unfortunately, you know, that's nothing to do with us, but.
Yeah. By the way, Mike's usually a TV star, but he's here in person tonight.
Can I just jump in for a second? I just.
Always.
Yes, everyone knows I'm not admitted in this state, so I sometimes ask questions that. My light is green. So my light is green. I'm speaking loudly. I'm not admitted to practice in the state, so sometimes I ask questions that don't really make sense, and I apologize for that in advance. But when you're talking, Pete, about lowering the impervious space ratio, I just want to make sure that that will not impact, because as everyone knows, we have probably the most progressive/aggressive stormwater management structure currently that was recently enacted, and anything that is done by the board would not impact your obligation to require with every word of that. So as long as we're all on that same page, that's good for me.
Yes.
Thank you, Peter.
Am I allowed to ask something about 50%? Because Chirag is worried.
All right.
Excuse me, Chair, I'm so sorry. Chirag is asking if it's possible to give us leeway to 50%. We will try what we can to go below it, but he's concerned about any potential design and like pad-mounted transformers or some other items that might creep up above 45.
In addition, if you're keeping the old house, you're tearing it down, so there'll be additional impervious.
Correct.
That's correct.
When you
Just in
don't-
case, yes.
Good point.
And you got flashed again for not speaking into the microphone.
It was your lawyer.
I'm fine with 50%. Anybody else have a problem with it? Pete, would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Appeal Z25-13 for the variance to 200-47A.3.A regarding the mix of dwelling units, subject to incorporation of the landscape buffer as presented, but with 6-foot-high plantings and 50% maximum impervious, and then a maximum of 15 new homes would be provided, new dwelling units.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Anybody have any questions? Pete, I thought you worded that perfectly.
I think I want to clarify it a little bit more. No more than the one existing unit and 15 new dwelling units.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, did you hear how that was presented?
I did, we're fine with that.
May I say something?
Where are we at with public comment at this part of the?
So, motion's made, and now you can have comment.
From the public as
on
well?
On the motion.
So please come forward. The public comment has to be addressed on the motion now, on the motion. So state your name, and you'll be sworn in.
My name is Mark Paroli, P like in Peter, A-R-O-L-Y.
Spell your first name.
Mark, M-A-R-K.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Your address?
221 Grant Way, Regency, Yardley. The only clarification, Peter, I heard you say something about 6 feet, the height of the buffer. Okay.
For planting purposes.
Yes, but I would like to clarify that arborvitae come in different sizes, different growth periods, that there should be sufficient height to that 6-foot planting. You know, he's not talking about planting 12 or 16 footers, but will they grow to a...
In other words, a species that has the ability to grow to 10
So
plus.
the
giant
giant
or something like that.
arborvitae is, because we ran into this issue on the villa side.
Correct.
Some residents also believed that the land behind them would not be developed. And when they started to see lights, the giant arborvitae apparently is deer resistant, or so I'm told, and grows quickly.
That was my point. If in fact the program progresses, at least...
It's a great point.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Do you want to rerun the whole thing back?
Well, no, I was just going to say, do you want to, no, just, I guess, redo the whole thing from start, so that way everything's clear and everyone in the audience can hear it all together.
Green giant, you said? Or similar species of plant. Yeah, so, yeah. All right, here we go again. Making a motion to approve Appeal Z25-13 for 200-47A.3.A for change in the mix of the dwelling unit types, and to allow for 15 new dwelling units and the one existing unit to be possibly maintained, subject to the incorporation of a landscape buffer as presented, but with 6-foot minimum plantings that will grow to sufficient height subject to approval by the township engineer, and with a reduction in the maximum impervious coverage for the property to 50%.
I would like him to add the word attached to the 15 dwelling units,
Okay.
just so that somebody doesn't make a mistake and build 15 single homes.
Okay. Well, their appeal was for the attached.
Yes.
That was what the actual variance request was that I
Just
referenced.
as long as it's worded properly in the, and I second.
No, it was worded fine.
And
yeah.
I second.
All right, comment? I thought it was worded well. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I hope some of you recognize that compromise was tried to achieve tonight.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You completely ignored the 64. I'm sorry, I lost my place on that white testimony when we asked the second. Whatever.
There was just no way to do it. They could have, excuse me, they could have built apartments too now.
Yeah, even worse.
That's, I mean, you guys, they could have built apartments. These are.
Hey.
We just have to conclude our meeting. If people could clear the room, that would be great. Hey, Jeff. Jeff. And let him go.
No, can we,
All right, we have a little bit more business.
yeah,
We have
can
to
we
finish
just-
our business.
We could finish up. We'll be done in, sir, we'll be done in.
Yeah, stick around. We'll be
Yeah,
done in 2
like
minutes.
2 minutes, and then you can continue. So we have an agenda, I believe, for a few items, Dan, for August 19th.
Yes, there's,
It's on, yeah.
Your mic doesn't work.
there's, oh, sorry. Yeah, there's 3 on the docket. There's Z-2530, which is an impervious one. There is, and then the 2 McGinnis ones. So there's the Jack Nikova, 1 Sutphen Road, and then there's the Knesset HaSefer Synagogue, which is 1237 Edgewood Road. So 3 in total.
Okay, and then what about September 2nd? Do we
There's
have any-
nothing on September 2nd,
So we might get a,
which by design, I tried to...
might give these guys a night off for a
Yeah,
change,
I
and gals.
was mindful of that, just to try to, have one meeting in September. So there's only one scheduled for September 16th as of now. That is the Murphy/Pinchuk appeal at 194 River Road for the house in the floodplain.
Okay,
I
right.
will not be in attendance. I will be in Europe for that.
so we, at the 19th meeting, we can.
Bragging.
Officially
Yeah,
cancel the
yeah.
September 2nd.
We'll send you a postcard to how the meeting went.
I would call in, but the time zone kills me.
Okay, so when are we going to pull the chute on September 2nd? When does that get done?
We can vote on that tonight or at the 19th to cancel it.
Why don't we vote on it the 19th? Does everybody agree with that?
No, just-
Or we cancel it?
Okay.
So,
All right,
Motion to
just a motion.
cancel the September 2nd zoning hearing board meeting.
What?
Well, what is it, actually, question here, is it conceivable that somebody gets something in within the posting period limit still?
No, there,
oh, if it's not conceivable,
No, because
vote on it
you have to
tonight.
do it within 60 days. So
Yeah, no.
because we have a meeting scheduled for the 16th.
Okay, then you
anything
could
that
do
we
it.
can
in
file
layman's terms,
tomorrow.
if anything were to come in, it was our intent to schedule it for the 16th anyway, so no.
Okay.
Okay,
See ya. Okay.
we're good.
All right, so why don't we make a motion on it tonight?
Motion to cancel the September 2nd zoning hearing board meeting.
I'll second.
Comment? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, before we adjourn the meeting, I know I brought this up 6 to 8 weeks ago. We really need to do something about replacing our alternates. 2 good guys, but they're just never available. So who facilitates that? Because I brought it up as a talking point, but that's all it really was a talking point. Suzanne, can you speak intelligently on who would facilitate?
I resent that. Can I speak intelligently? The board is aware. Dan has been conducting interviews of, I say Dan, the board has been conducting interviews. I expect that there'll be movement shortly, but it is an issue before the chair and the board.
There's an
that
interview
intelligent?
tomorrow, correct, for an alternate?
Well, there's an
Didn't know it was in
interview.
front
I'm
of
not
the-
sure that it's a designated, so
Right.
a lot of the people we've been interviewing, it's kind of like, tell us what you might be interested in.
Okay.
And where they then apply and where we see fit, but
And when I said it that way, it's because I didn't know it was in front of the supervisors, and I just wanted you to explain the logistics or mechanics of how it gets done. But
I know
actually,
where
I
your
didn't
little
find it.
dog
I did not
lives.
find it overly intelligent.
Years ago, someone
just
just
want to
came
report
up
that
to me
there's
and
someone in
asked
my
me if I
neighborhood
wanted to
whose
be on.
dog never has a collar on, and he roams free, and he's menacing.
He's 12 pounds.
And I can second that. I think Supervisor Blundy missed the last Board of Supervisors meeting, and I do. If you watch the Board of Supervisors meetings, I bring it up often, especially referencing this board, that that you are desperate to find alternates and replacements, unfortunately.
Is there a reasonable timeline on either? If you had to guess?
My understanding is, as Dan just noted, there are interviews. They did state that at the last Board of Supervisors meeting that it will be hopefully within this month, that they are going to be, they've conducted and almost concluded, I think, their interviews, and then they're going to be just designating people for the right positions.
All right, has anyone interviewed Mike Blundy?
I don't.
He already serves on a committee, so you can only be on one.
Okay. All right. Anything else, anybody?
I have video of the dog, if anybody wants to see it.
Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.